So for the first question here, first thing that I did was to calculate the discount simply by taking 100 minus 14%. I know that I only have to pay 86% of the price. So 20 kilogram times 0.85 times 86%, you should get your results as 14.62. But for the next question here, spend 16.4 on apples after a discount of 18%. So 16.4 is the new price, hence original times 100 minus 18% equals to 16.4. You should get your results after the calculation as $20. Next part, ratio of the bananas is 4, numbers of banana is 5. So the total ratio here is 9, and they gave you the specific results of banana as 108. So total times 4 over 9, okay, equals to 108. So you know that your totals numbers of fruits will be 243, and for apple alone will be 243 times 5 divided by 9, which is 135 apples. So first thing to take note for section B is that C is a fixed cost. So D depends on how many days there's there. So for C plus 4 days, which is 4D, equals to 27.1. And the other one, which is C plus 7D, equals to 34.3. So I'm using elimination method here, and we get the balance of 3D equals to 7.2. So D is actually 2.4. By substituting D equals 2.4 into equation 1, you should get our results as 17.5 for C. Section C, the time is actually by taking 1513 minus 0743. You will get a balance of 7 hours and 30 minutes. So the average speed will be total distance divided by total time will be 270 divided by 7.5, which is 36 kilometers per hour. 2 years ago, there's 540. So 540 times 106% to the power of 2. Then you will get your value of investment, which is total amount in the account, as 607 after correcting to 3 significant figures. So for question 2 part A, we have H bracket function f bracket 2. Okay, so I first calculated f bracket 2, okay, by substituting 2 into function f. You should get your results from there as 6. Then I substitute this 6, okay, into function h exposition. So I get 6 squared plus 3 equals to 39. But for part 2, I basically change function g, okay, into 2 over x plus 1. So f bracket 2 over x plus 1. This is your new x, and it is to be substituted into functions f exposition. So you should have 4 bracket 2 over x plus 1 minus 2. So your final answer should be 8 over x plus 2. Question B, gx equals to 2. So I change the gx into 2 over x plus 1 equals to 0.2. You will get your results as x equals to negative 2.5 after the calculation. But for last part, question C, I first identify functions g results. Function g bracket 3 result should turn out to be 5 over 3. Then I substitute this 5 over 3 into exposition of function g again. Okay, so I get 2 over 5 over 3 plus 1. You get your final results after the calculation as 11 over 5, which is 2.9. 2. Question D, number 1, okay, fx equals to gx, okay. So I basically change them up. I get to 4x minus 2 equals to 2 over x plus 1. Change their denominator into the same, okay, cross multiply it. You should get your final result. So things that I did was to first shift the 1 away. So I get 4x minus 3 equals to 2 over x. Then I cross multiply them by setting the denominator of 4x minus 3 as 1. After the calculation, you should be able to prove the results as 4x squared minus 3x minus 2 equals to 0. So in this equation here, okay, 4 is actually your A, B is negative 3, and C is negative 2. So this one can be solved only through quadratic formula. Okay, so the formulas goes by negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. For substituting a, b, and c into their respective place, you should get your final results as 1.18 and negative 0.43. Question 3 here, describe fully a single transformation for triangle T to triangle A. This one is actually a reflection from the line x equals to negative 1. Question B, number 1, okay, triangle T through a 90-degree rotation from the point of origin. So I label the shape there as B. As for triangle T after reflection of x plus y equals to 0, okay, so it will be the image C that are labeled over there. But for the last part, 2, 4, 5, okay, enlarge your results by 1.5, you should get your D image as such. However, for section C, this entire section was actually being removed from the syllabus. Okay, this is actually the serious topic. Okay, so no worries if you don't know how to solve this. Let's move on to question D. Matrix that transform B onto triangle T. This one will be 0, 1, negative 1, 0. Question 4. Okay, so do take note that all this ingredient list is for you to make 16 biscuits. So in order for you to get the requirement for one biscuit, do take note that you have to divide it by 16. So for one biscuit, I'm finding how many oatmeal do I need, which is 12.5 gram after the calculation. So 350 divided by 12.5, I will trace back that I can actually make 28 biscuits. So for how many grams of butter does he need to make the numbers of biscuits? So 240 divided by 16, I will know that for one biscuits I need 15 grams. So for 28 biscuits, 28 times 15, you will know it is as 420 grams. Section B, okay, 4 over 3 times pi times r cubed equals to 1080. Okay, by running the calculation, you should get your r as 6.36. Next question here, the 1080 cm cube of dough is then rolled to form a cuboid 20 times 30 times 1.8. Boris cut a circular biscuits of a diameter of 5. So diameter is the key information here. So 30 divided by 5, you get 6. 20 divided by 5, you get 4. So 6 times 4 will be 24 biscuits. For next part, to calculate the volume of dough left over, it should be 1080 minus bracket 24 times pi times 2.5 square, and do take note that you're required to multiply the height, which is 1.8. Then you will get your final results. Question 5, pretty straightforward. For you to calculate the mean, first you need to identify the midpoint of the time. Okay, then take the midpoint, multiply by their respective frequency, divide it by 200, then you will get your mean time as 63.45. For next part, complete the cumulative frequency table for this data. So for t less than 60 is actually 38 plus 37. Okay, then for t less than 70 is actually 75 plus 42, and for t less than 90 it should be 167 plus 28, and for t less than equals to 100 it should be 195 plus 5, which is 200. So draw your cumulative graph as shown as the side. After it was being drawn, you're now required to trace the median time. Median means 50%. So 200 times 50%, you should get 100th. So trace it back through the graph, it should be 66. And for lower quartile, it's actually 200 times 25%, which is the 50th. So 50th, you trace it back, it should be 54. For interquartile range, 200 times 75% equals to 150th. So from 150th, okay, you should get your results as 76. So 76 minus 54, your interquartile range result should be 22. How many people took between 65 and 75 seconds to solve the problem? This one is actually 145 minus 97, which is 48. Okay, I trace it back through drawing 65 seconds and 75 seconds. How many people longer than 45 seconds to solve this question? So from 45, I trace it back, it is actually 27. So 200 minus 27, you should get 173. Question 6. Calculate the curved surface area of this cone. Okay, do take note that they only want the curve. Okay, so you are not required to calculate the base here. Simply taking pi times 9 over 2 times 10, then you get your final results. But for the next part, calculate the vertical height of this cone. For this, we are using Pythagoras theorem. We have a radius of 4.5, which is the base, and we have the hypotenuse as 10. So unknown equals to square root of 10 square minus 4.5 square, which results in 8.93. Section B, calculate the vertical height of this small cone here. So small cone has a base of 9, and the height of it is actually 8.93. But for the small one, has a base of 3 and height of it unknown. Using mathematically similar method, cross multiply them, I should get my height as 2.98 for the small cone. Calculate the curved surface area of this small cone. Okay, simply takes pi times 1.5 times the slant height. The slant height here is being calculated through using Pythagoras theorem again. Square root of 1.5 square plus 2.98 square, which is 3.34. The final answer should amount to 15.7. As for section C, okay, they wanted the surface area of the whole solid. So first we have a pi times 3 over 2 square, okay, which is the top of this shape. Then we have the curved surface area, which is pi times 9 over 2 times 10 minus pi times 3 over 2 times 3.34. Then you will get the curve of this shape. Then plus the solid, which is 2 times pi times 9 over 2 times 12, plus the base, which is pi times 9 over 2 squared. After correcting your answer to 3 significant figures, you should get 536. Question 7. Okay, so first thing first, at part A, you're required to substitute the -3, -0.3 and -0.1 into the function f, and you get your results as 8.7, -3.2 and -10. Okay, I just take one decimal, because all the other variables that's inside this table is only in one decimal form. So by drawing a tangent, work out the estimate of the gradient of the curve where x equals to 2. So at x equals to 2, after I plot down the tangent line, okay, I get another coordinate which is 3, 8. So through the gradient calculation, I get my final results as 3.5. Write down inequalities that satisfy that fx equals to 3 has 3 answers. Okay, the point where they have 3 answers and above should be fx more than equals to 2. Anything beyond that should get you the answer. However, keynote here is inequalities, so you're required to write the same format as mine. Okay, you can write fx more than equals to 3, etc. Draw the line. Okay, so by setting x equals to 1 and x equals to 2, I get my y results as 0 and -1. I then proceed by drawing the line over there. Use your graph to solve this. So the intersection point of the graph and the line I drew is actually -1.8. For part F, we arrange it into the following format. Okay, so I first divided everything by x so that I can change my results into x squared. So I'm having x squared minus x minus 2 plus 1 over x. Throw the rest, okay, leave the 1 over x and x squared on the left hand side. The rest I shift it to the other side. I will get x plus 2. Hence your a will be 1 and your b will be 2. Write down the equation of the line that can be drawn on the graph to solve this. It is y equals to x plus 2. So you're not required to draw the line, but I only realized it after I completed the entire question. So do read the question carefully to avoid similar mistakes. Question 8. Okay, calculate the length of BC and show that it rounds to 3.58, corrected 2 decimal places. So through cosine rule, okay, you should be able to identify that BC equals to 3.58. For next part, calculate angle BCA. This one I'm using sine rule that goes by sine BCA over BA equals to sine CAB over BC. So after you run the calculation, you should get your results as 36.3. However, for part B, AC equals to AD and CDA equals to 52 degrees. After I filling it up, okay, I know that it is actually an isosceles triangle. Okay, hence DCA is actually 180 minus 52 minus 52. Then you get the balance as 76. For next part, to calculate the area of the canvas, this too is actually a irregular triangle. Hence the easiest way to do this is actually through the formula half AB sine C. So half times 3 times 5 times sine 45 plus half times 5 times 5 times sine 76. Correct it to 3 significant figures, you get the final results as 17.4. As for part C, probability use the canvas to give some shades. Okay, calculate the angle of PAB. Okay, since that PAB here, we already have the hypotenuse and the adjacent of the angle that we're looking for. So we are using cosine to find this. Cosine inverse 2 over 3 equals to angle PAB, which is 48.2. For next part, question 9, a probability question. So there's a total of 8 buttons here, and the keyword here is without replacement. Hence, all 3 is white. 6 over 8 times 5 over 7 times 4 over 6. Okay, I corrected to 3 significant figures. You get the results as 0.357. As for part 2, exactly one of the 3 buttons is blue. Okay, which means that I can write down these three possibilities, okay, which is white, blue, white, blue, white, white, and white, white, blue. After arranging their respective fraction, multiplied together, correct it to three significant figures, you should get results as 0.536. For next part, question B, 25 buttons in another bag. This bag contains X blue buttons. 2 buttons are taken out without replacement. The probability that both of them is blue is 7/10. So X over 25 times X minus 1 over 24 equals to 7/100. Okay, by combining the fraction on the left hand side together, cross multiply it, you should be able to prove the equation. So factorizing it, x times x equals to x squared, 6 times 7 equals to 42. Okay, then you get 6x and 7x respectively. So you're required to adjust the value and results into the center value of negative x. So I put plus 6x minus 7x. You should get two brackets, which is x plus 6 and x minus 7. So the results from it should be x equals to negative 6 and x equals to 7. Write down numbers of buttons in the bag that is not blue. So since your x cannot be negative 6, which means your blue should be 7. So 25 minus 7, which means there's 18 buttons that is not blue. So that's pretty much it for this paper. I hope you find it helpful. If you have friends that are struggling, feel free to share this paper to them. And I wish you all the best in your upcoming examination. Thank you.